All right, folks, looks like this is going to be it. This is a empty apartment. I'm about to move out of this place after 4 years and 4 months. Unfortunately, I'm no longer able to keep up with the rent, so I will be homeless for a while. I'm gonna be sleeping in my car. Also, I will be returning to China soon, so I will need to save up a lot of money for this trip. It's probably going to cost me at least $10,000 in order to produce this series from China, which is going to last for over 2 years. I'm excited for it. Yes, I'm anxious, but it's not the worst possible outcome. At least I still have a car to sleep in, so I'm not going to be completely homeless. I don't know how long this is going to last. Could be 6 months, could be up to a year, but I'm going to grind this out. So this is a goodbye to my apartment in Vanier, Ottawa, and I will see you guys on the road. All right, what is up, guys? So this is me. So this is Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. So it is my first night of being homeless and sleeping in my car, and as you can see, and everything is blocked off. I just got off my shift at my supermarket. I worked from 12:20 to 10 p.m. today. It was a long shift. I'm gonna try to get some rest. It's raining outside. I'll try to get some sleep and see how this goes. I don't know how long it's going to last. Rent is becoming too expensive for me, and I'm gonna try the best I can to save up as much as I can. It's gonna be tough, and I'll try to film a little bit every day while I'm sleeping in my car. I don't know how long this is going to last. It's gonna be difficult, but what can you do? I have no other option. So thank you guys for all the support. All right, guys. So the first night of trying to sleep in my car was extremely rough. Barely got any rest, but I have to make some changes to my strategy. I gotta change my setup a bit. I'm gonna make it through. So as you guys can see, it is August 28th. It's Wednesday today, 16 a.m. And yes, this is all real. This is not a setup. So you guys can see, all of my belongings are inside of this car now. So whatever happens, I'm gonna make it work. But I'm at the campus. As I mentioned before, I'm in my last semester of university. So I'm gonna try to probably fall asleep on a desk or something. So this is morning of day number 2 of being homeless and sleeping in my car. All right, what's up, folks? So as you can see, I'm officially temporarily homeless. I'm recording this from my university campus. And do not worry, guys. I did not get to this point in my life because of terrible decisions I have made in the past. I am not drowning in debt due to hookers and cocaine. If you've been following this channel for a while, I mentioned that before. So back in 2018, I made the decision to come back to school. This was 6 years ago. I first went back to college for 2 years, then I went back to a university for 4 years. So 6 years of post-secondary education. This is where I got all my debt. Before I went back to school, I actually had a credit score of 830, and I also had over $8,000 in my savings account with no debt. But yeah, coming back to school has been extremely expensive, way worse than I expected. This is not some kind of publicity stunt. Nobody becomes homeless because they want to. Nobody gets sick because they want to get sick. Nobody wants to die, but unfortunately, death and taxes are inevitable. I'm not at this point where I just want to sleep in my car just to get some pity from my audience, but I really have to. So if you look at the breakdown of my financial situation, right now my student loan from the federal and the provincial government is totaled at $29,500. The good thing is that as of right now, there's not going to be any interest on this amount. So whatever I pay back every month, the amount is going to keep going down. The real main issue is my line of credit and my credit card. So I currently hold 2 separate line of credits, and they both combine for roughly $47,500. And the interest rate on these line of credit is roughly 10.5%. And I currently owe about $6,500 from my 2 credit cards. And the interest rate on credit cards are quite insane. It's at 20%. So right now, just from my 2 lines of credits and also my 2 credit cards, my interest payment every month is roughly $600 Canadian. And the issue is that I've been making minimum payments for a while now. When I make the minimum payment of $600, my debt does not go down. This is how they trap you into a debt slavery. So I'm in a terrible situation for the last couple years now. But thanks to you guys and thanks to the success this channel has gained over the course of the past 4 months. So this channel has made over $6,000. So I've been using my YouTube earnings to actually pay down my debt. So for the first time, I would say in the past 2 or 3 years, my debt is finally going down. Because at one point, I think I was at over $88,000 Canadian. So now I'm down to a total of about $84,000 Canadian. And I mentioned the only thing that's holding me back, the only reason why I'm not leaving Canada is because I have to pay off this debt. And I really appreciate the support from all of you guys, especially my channel members and also to everybody that's currently supporting me on Patreon. And also to all the viewers who have been sending me these super chat stickers and the super thank yous. I really appreciate all of your support 100%. All of the money I earn from this channel will go towards my 6 months trip to China, where I will produce a unique and original 2-year series. And the series is going to premiere on January 1st, 2025. Fingers crossed, that is if everything goes smoothly. And I'm really looking forward to producing the series. I think it's going to be very, very exciting. And many of you guys are asking, do I not have any financial support from my parents? I wouldn't be in this terrible situation if it wasn't for my dad, honestly. Back in fall of 2017, this is where I'm at the point where I'm saying that basically this factory job is completely destroying my body and it's a dead-end job. It's not going to go anywhere. And if I just quit the factory job and go to another factory, well, that's the same as quitting your job at McDonald's and apply to be a cashier at Burger King. That's not going to change the root cause of the issue. So I actually made an effort. I actually talked to my dad. He was the one who actually convinced me to go back to school to learn a skill, to get a diploma, then possibly get a degree afterwards. And yes, he did convince me. This was, back in fall of 2017. I haven't talked to him in a very, very long time. He told me that if I applied to go back to school and if I got accepted to come back to school, he offered to pay half of my tuition and half of all my living expenses. Yes, after all, I mentioned before, back in 2013, I became a university dropout. This is due to all the family dramas I had to endure, and I just couldn't focus on school. And so I really thought about it for many, many months before I decided to apply to come back to school. So after I got accepted into a Georgian college, I found a place in Barrie. This is 1 hour away from Toronto. And when school was about to start in September, when it was time to pay for my tuition, I messaged my dad. I said, I'm really going to do this. I'm coming back to school after all of these years. I'm going to get my diploma and possibly one day I will get my degree. And I said that now I really, really need your help. You told me a few months ago before I applied that you will offer to pay half of my tuition and living expenses. But I'm sure you guys all know where this story is going. He basically just picked up the phone. He said, "Oh, you fucking piece of shit. Go F-U-C-K yourself. You're so fucking useless. You're trying to scam me for all my money. Why don't you just die? I'm gonna fucking kill you, you piece of shit." The rant went on for probably, I don't know, 30 minutes, possibly 40, 45. And he said he was gonna disown me. He told me basically I'm a scam artist. I'm a useless piece of shit. I'm a leech and I'm trying to drain off his money. And that was the end of that. So throughout my 6 years of college and university, I did not receive 1 penny of financial support from my dad. As a matter of fact, I'm 32 years old now. I have never ever received not even 1 penny of financial compensation or support from my dad. In fact, at this point, he probably owes me a few $1,000s. I mentioned that before, when my dad was severely addicted to gambling, he would often grab me by the throat and force me to take out all my money, anything that I had in my bank account. After I withdraw the money, he would just lose it at the casino in the next couple of hours. But that's life, right? You don't get to choose the family you're born into. This is the situation I was born into. Absolutely nothing I can do. I still don't understand after all of these years why my mom made the decision to marry my dad. Because he's always been like that. He's 100% complete batshit crazy. And so what about inheritance? Yes, I did mention before, my dad, he first moved to Canada back in 2002. So he sold his house and his car in China. Both of those he got for free from his energy company that he worked for. So when he sold his house and his car in China, when he arrived in Canada, he was able to buy a house for cash. Yes, for cash. Although you have to remember, he bought his house back in 2005. It only costed $160,000 Canadian or $120,000 US. It's unbelievable how much Canada has gone to shit in the past couple of decades. Yeah, back then it was actually realistic. Right now what's happened is that, so my dad and my stepmom, they're married on paper. So I think my dad has been wanting to divorce my stepmom for many, many years. But unfortunately, they cannot arrive to a financial agreement. So it will have to be a contested divorce. And contested divorces are extremely expensive because you need an attorney on both sides, and you can end up actually financially bankrupting both sides. So I think my dad is, over the years, he has completely given up on the battle. So he has left Canada. He has gone back to China. So it's just my stepmother. So basically, she's gonna get the house, which she did not pay a single penny for. You see, marriage and relationships is a financial transaction from the man to woman. Remember that, guys. No woman in this world will ever date a broke guy. So my stepmom, she's gonna get the house, but I don't think she's gonna live for long because she's already had 2 brain tumors in the past, and this happened in Canada. She's also had 2 open head brain surgeries, so she's severely ill. She's got maybe, who knows, 10 more years at most. So after she kicks the bucket, I didn't mention before, my dad and my stepmom, so my stepmom, she gave birth to my half-sister. So we have the same dad and different mom. So my half-sister, she's 4 years younger than me. I haven't spoken to her in many, many years. Last time I talked to her, she was probably making 6 figures in Toronto. So she'll be doing just fine. So in the end, she's going to get a house. And I'm not going to bother fighting over it. I've endured enough drama in my life. And I think she thoroughly 100% deserves it. Because it is not her fault, right? She was also born into this family. She did not have any choice. At least she will not have to worry about Canada's housing crisis and the housing shortage because she's going to get that home through my stepmom. But what about my mom? I mentioned before, right? My mom was extremely successful at one stage. Well, yes, but that was many, many years ago. So my mom, she had a very successful sauna business that ran from 2004 to 2010. But starting back in 2009, that's when the business started to really go downhill. And when it got to 2010, basically there was 0 business left, and she went into insolvency. But it's okay, it doesn't sound all that terrible because her peak years between 2006 and 2009, she made millions of dollars. Because at the peak of my mom's business, she was based in Changchun, China at the time. So she actually had 50 people working for her. 50 people, imagine that, 50 payrolls. Imagine how much money she was actually making. And she actually rented 4 different offices. She was able to purchase 3 different properties. She also purchased 3 different vehicles for her company. Yes, my mom, she's got the brains. I think she's a very smart, intelligent woman when it comes to the financial market, when it comes to, the stock market, when it comes to finances, when it comes to micro and the macro economy. I think my mom is a very, very intelligent businesswoman. Unfortunately, when it comes to the love life, she's got 0 IQ. That's why she's been divorced 6 times. So after my mom's company went into insolvency in she was only 49 at the time. But I did mention before, in China, the women always get to retire at 55. So she decided that she could already collect a pension and social security at the age of 55. There was no point in working any longer because she already made so much money from 2006 to 2009. So the 3 cars that she purchased, obviously the cars, they depreciate over time. But the 3 properties that she purchased, the 2 smaller ones, because unfortunately she got divorced once again with her 6th husband. So he got the 2 smaller properties, and my mom, she was able to get the bigger property, and she was able to obviously buy all of these properties through the success of her sauna business. But unfortunately, I mentioned before, my sister, my older half-sister, so we have the same mom and different dad. So unfortunately, my older half-sister, she's also went into bankruptcy and insolvency many, many times. And she got to the point a few years ago where she couldn't even pay rent anymore. And my mom actually came up to me many, many years ago. This must be maybe 10 or 11 years ago. She said that, son, I'm not working anymore. I'm just relying on my pension now. And I cannot really help you in the future. But I do have a house in China. And since you're the son, this is filial piety, and she told me that I feel like that you should get a house. I just told her straight up, I said, I don't even live in China anymore. I don't think it's right for me to inherit this house from you. Plus, my older sister, she's the firstborn. She's from your first marriage. She's 10 years older than me. By seniority, you should give the house to my sister. Despite, all the crazy drama, despite how crazy, my family is, I'm not here to fight over these little things. And I just think that it was the right decision for my sister to inherit the house from my mom. So this was around 10 or 11 years ago. So the property that my mom purchased in China with the money that she made from her sauna business, she gave it to my sister. and she currently lives in a house with her 2 children and her 3rd husband. So I think the key message is, at the end of the day, my family was not by any means poor at all growing up in China. In fact, I would say both my mom and my dad growing up, sure, they were not the top 1%, but they were probably between the top 10 to the top 5% of income earners in China. And when my mom had that success from 2006 to 2009, she really became the top 1% for those 3 to 4 years. But unfortunately, good things never last. And the success my dad had, the house that he had in China, the car that he sold those in order to purchase the home in Canada in 2005 for $160,000 Canadian. And my dad has gone back to China now, and he doesn't have the money or the resources to get another divorce. So my stepmom is going to get that house. And when my stepmom kicks that bucket, my younger half sister in Canada, she's going to inherit that house. So at the end of the day, there's really nothing for me. Financially, I'm 100% on my own, but I'm gonna make it through. Listen, to all the guys out there who are watching this video, I would say probably 85% of the audience of this video are going to be men. For a man, you have to be able to provide financially. Because I don't care what the woke left, I don't care what the feminists say, I don't care what the Democratic Party say, I don't care what the Liberal Party of Canada is telling you. No woman in this world will ever marry or procreate with a man who makes less money than them. And yes, I said before, so the series on China will not start until January 1st of 2025. What we'll have before then, I mentioned I definitely want to do a series on the Soviet Union. So I'll probably have a bunch of videos on the Soviet Union before the end of the year. But most importantly, what's coming up very fast is that since I'm going to be covering election 2024, as many of you guys might have noticed, I've been talking a lot about immigration, which is one of the hottest topics coming into election 2024. So I'm planning out taking 3 short trips to the United States. I think the first trip is going to be at the start of September. I will try to get to the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love. That is where the first debate between former President Trump and the current Vice President Kamala Harris will take place. So maybe I'll try to get a couple videos from there. Then hopefully on September 21st, I will be able to attend one of Tucker Carlson's events. Well, Tucker Carlson is going to be hosting an event with the vice presidential candidate from the Republican Party, J.D. Vance. So they're hosting an event together in Pennsylvania on September 21st. So I'm hoping to attend that event as well. So that's 2 of my trips. Now I'll take another trip to the US in October, and I'll see if I can get a couple more election videos uploaded before the election day 2024. So that is going to be what's coming up. But don't worry guys, even though I'm homeless, at least I still have a place to stay. You know, I'm not sleeping by the side of the road. I still got the back seat and the trunk of my car to sleep in, and I'm gonna make it through. This is a temporary plan for me to save money, and I'm going to turn this situation around. But I'm feeling optimistic because I really look forward to producing this unique and original series from China from 2025 to 2026. The contents of these videos, which will be 300 plus videos from a 2-year series, this will take my channel to a completely new level. I think some of you guys will be completely blown away by what I have to offer in the summer of 2025, heading into 2026. Things are going to be alright. Thank you guys for all the support. And I will keep you guys updated from my school campus and also from the inside of my car. Hope you guys will have an amazing weekend. I'll see you guys next week.
I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone. That's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up.